Starry-eyed angel falling from the sky, looking for a savior to teach you how to fly. Stardust, you've got it in the palm of your hand. Find trust, you don't need to understand, just you're exactly where you're supposed to be, just
There's a voice in the dark, will it heal me or tear me up? There's a void in my heart that you're feeling, but it's never enough. But every time I hear my name, another part of me gives in. There's a voice in the dark and I can't seem to make it stop. I'm hearing sirens, I feel the cold strike through my chest. I'm seeing diamonds, starting to feel the side effects. Follow desire, I see a fire burning red. I'm hearing sirens, starting to feel the side effects. I'm hearing sirens.
I'll be there. When you face your mistakes, know you don't have what it takes. I'll be there, and I'ma take care. Baby, you can run away. Just know no matter where you go, you'll always have them days where blue skies appear gray. No matter how far you go, you'll always find some rain. And I can take you to a place, mix new colors but no shades. Show you how the good life feels better. Probably a waste, the good things you can buy. Show you how the good life gets better. Stay with me here tonight. Be with me in the moment. Don't let the sun rise. Not tonight. Ooh, don't let it be over. Pull me closer. Ooh, I don't wanna know when the morning comes. Holding on and on and on and on. Don't wanna know when the morning comes. Holding on and on and on and on. Don't wanna know when the morning comes. Right now is forever.
Yeah. Good Wednesday morning, everybody. Hope everybody's off to a dope-ass start to their day. Get some sunrise action going. Cheers, cheers, everybody. Good morning, Amber. How are you? I hope you are having a wonderful Wednesday morning. Good morning, Kay. How are you? I hope you are having a wonderful morning. Hey, good morning, Faith Saul. How are you, man? I hope you are having a wonderful day. Good morning, Ash. How are you? I hope you are having a wonderful Wednesday morning. Good morning, Mama Roo. How is you? I hope you are having a wonderful morning. Good morning, Yaya. How are you, dear? I hope you are having a wonderful morning. Good morning, Ellen. How are you? I hope you are having a dope start to your day. Good morning, Erica. How are you, dear? I hope you are having a wonderful morning. Good morning, Ma. How are you? I hope you are having a wonderful Wednesday morning. Hey, good morning, Mindy. How are you? I hope you are having a wonderful morning. Good morning, Britt. How are you? I hope you are having a great start to your day. I hope everybody's off to a wonderful Wednesday and is ready to wake and bake. Cheers, cheers, everybody. Let's go with this one.
I know it's underground, I feel it. The roots are there, I know you see it. We never took to a chance to heal this. Not even one little glance, but we keep going back and forth. It feels the rain keeps flowing, but now we're getting closer, one drop away to you and I. Like flowers, we need time to grow. Don't leave me cold, don't lay in this room. Won't you fall into the blue?
Let's fucking go. What does everybody know this morning? If you have not got your Getting Stoned word in, please do. We got Amber with Getting, Kay with Stoned, Faisal with Again, Ash with Mama Roo with My, Yvonne with Only, and Ellen with Friends. How's everybody's morning going? It is super gloomy and overcast here this morning. Morning just kind of hanging out and playing ball. Up and drinking coffee and watching the news this morning. I don't know. I worked today, but other than that, nothing too crazy going on. Working on a few things around here, working on some music stuff. What do all you fantastic folks got going on for your Wednesday? We are 4 minutes out from 4:20. Morgan! We got a blunt roll for 4:20. And I'm smoking on my bubblegum vape and this other with this blue Zope, I think it is. And then white cherry gelato. It's been a pretty chilling morning though. It's very calm. It feels like 33 out, so it's fucking cold. Usual opening the bar. Yeah, absolutely. Nothing wrong with a chilling day. No news is good news in my opinion. I don't know. Good token tunes last night. It was a tie, so we'll have a round 2 next Tuesday night. Great music played though. I've been loving EDM and house music, so I downloaded a shit ton of EDM music yesterday. Or more, I should say. 2 minutes out from 4:20. We'll smoke for 4:20. We'll see what Vicki Bowers knows this morning. We'll have our morning speaker today. Listen to some tunes. I don't know. See what the morning has in store. It is way too cold out for me. This is in Michigan, I believe. But that's kind of what it looks like here, is super overcast like that. We got a little bit of sunrise and then it went behind the clouds. Right? For real, yeah. Naps are crucial. 1 minute out, everybody. Make sure that you are packing up and heating up and rolling up and grinding up and warming up and waking up and coffeeing up. Nah, you woke up at the exact time your body wanted you to wake up, Ma. You didn't wake up late. I actually got up fairly early today. I was surprised. Nope, I was way off. Here, there it is. Happy 420, everybody. Cheers.
Smoke weed every day.
Cheers, everybody. Absolutely, naps are amazingly ridiculous. Depends if what I got going on that day, and if I have to work, and what time we close. Like on Sundays, we close at 10, but we close at 11 tonight. All right, let's play another tune. We'll see what Vicki Bowers knows today. Let's go with this one. Cheers, everybody. That's such a good song. All right, Vicki B. What do you got for us on this wicked, wonderful Wednesday? Here we go.
Welcome back. Today we have a word for a terrible situation. We have Bibles, a disaster, a prize, a remarkable record, a couple of phenomenons of engineering and design, a song and a quote. So grab your favorite cuppa, settle in, and let's have a look. Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for May 6th. May 6th is the 125th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 126th in leap years, with 239 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is conflagration. Conflagration is a noun that means consumption by fire, especially a large, disastrous fire involving numerous buildings. Conflagration can also mean something like a large, disastrous fire, especially in war. The word conflagration comes to us from Latin. First known use of the word conflagration is in the mid-1500s. Conflagration. And with that, on May 6, 1541, King Henry VIII ordered English language Bibles to be placed in every church. An edition known as the Great Bible was provided for this purpose. The Great Bible preceded the King James Version, KJV, by a few years, as the King James Version was published in 1611, by the sponsorship of King James. On May 6, 1937, the German Zeppelin Hindenburg caught fire and was destroyed within a minute while attempting to dock at Lakehurst, New Jersey. 36 people perished in that conflagration. Author John Steinbeck was awarded the Pulitzer Prize for his novel The Grapes of Wrath on May 6, 1940. On May 6, 1954, Roger Bannister, at the age of 25, became the first person to run the mile in under 4 minutes. It was previously thought to be a physical impossibility to run a mile in under 4 minutes, but once it happened, the 4-minute barrier has been broken by just over 2,000 athletes. As of the time of this reporting, in 2026, there has not yet been a woman who has run a 4-minute mile. The English Channel Tunnel, nicknamed Chunnel, opened on May 6, 1994 in a ceremony presided over by England's Queen Elizabeth II and French President François Mitterrand. The channel connected Britain and the European mainland for the first time since the Ice Age. The channel has the longest underwater section of any tunnel in the world at 37.9 kilometers, or 23.5 miles, and is the third longest railway tunnel in the world. An actual train trip through the channel between Folkestone, United Kingdom, and Calais, France, typically takes about 35 minutes, but you will want to account for border controls and boarding, which usually brings the total time to around 1.5 to 2 hours. I understand the channel is open and operative 24/7, 365, but feel free to correct me if I've gotten that wrong. Back in the late 1990s, the Apple design team were working on a new computer design. They developed sketches for a distinctive, all-in-one computer with an eye to ease of use and internet connectivity. They made the new computer colorful and translucent, built around a cathode ray tube display wrapped in a curved plastic case. It was an ad agency, Ken Siegel, who suggested the name iMac. It was short, had Mac in it, and the I prefix suggested the internet. Steve Jobs hated that name at first, but it stuck, and sure enough, Apple later adopted the I prefix across its consumer hardware and software lines, such as iPod, iPhone, iPad, iCloud, iTunes, and so on. All that to say that on May 6, 1998, Steve Jobs unveiled the first iMac. It's John Flansburgh's birthday today, and we've talked about him in a previous video, which I'll link in the description. He's half of the team that make up the group They Might Be Giants. They Might Be Giants has released 24 studio albums, 18 compilations, 20 live albums, 25 EPs, that's extended plays, and 40 singles. My introduction to them was with their third studio album, Flood, and we've talked about a couple of songs from that album before as well. Birdhouse in Your Soul and Istanbul, not Constantinople. Today we'll talk about Lucky Ball and Chain. John Linnell says of this song that it employs the unreliable narrator motif in a simple regret song about the one that got away. It's influenced by country western musical tradition and is delivered in the quirky way that They Might Be Giants does. Lucky Ball and Chain by They Might Be Giants. Link in the description. How about that? Today's quote is one that a viewer shared with me, and it is, "To me, the universe is simply a great machine which never came into being and never will end." Nikola Tesla. Alrighty, y'all take care. Be good to each other. I'll see you next time.
Much love, Vicki B. Thank you so much for the Stay in History every day. We super duper appreciate you. Please make sure that you are following Vicki on all the platforms that she is on, and make sure you check out to buy her a coffee. Hope you are having a wonderful Wednesday, Vicki B. All right, our song of the day today. Cheers, cheers, everybody.
I lost my lucky ball and chain. Now she's 4 years gone. She's 5 feet tall and sick of me and all my rattling on. She threw away her baby doll. I held on to my pride, but I was young and foolish then. I feel old and foolish now. Confidentially, she never called me baby doll. Confidentially, I never had much pride, but now I rock a bar stool and I drink for two, just pondering this time bomb in my mind. I lost my lucky ball and chain. Now she's 4 years gone. She's 5 feet tall and sick of me and all my rattling on. She walked away from a happy man. I thought I was so cool. I just stood there whistling. There goes the bride as she walked out the door. There goes the bride as she walked out the door. I could shake my tiny fist and swear I wasn't wrong, but what's the sense in arguing when you're all alone? Sure as you can't steer a train, you can't change your fate. And when she told me off that day, I knew I'd lost my home. Confidentially, I never told you of her charm. Confidentially, we never had a home, but this railroad apartment was the perfect place when she'd sit and hold me in her arms. I lost my lucky ball and chain. Now she's 4 years gone. She's 5 feet tall and sick of me and all my rattling on. She walked away from a happy man. I thought I was so cool. I just stood there whistling. There goes the bride as she walked out the door. There goes the bride as she walked out the door. There goes the bride as she walked out the door.
That's such a great song. Oh, man. Hope everybody's having a good morning. It's been a pretty chilling morning. We do have our morning speaker coming up yet, but I'm in no hurry. Just gonna chill and listen to some tunes. Let's go with this one. Cheers, everybody.
Breathe, let it out, let it in, let it stay. Just breathe. Slow your heart for a moment, let the noise drift away. Slow it down. Look around, feel the room, feel the light on your skin. Right here. Some days blur into others till you lost where you've been. Hope feels like home when the world feels fast. Hold on, let the weight get lighter, let the hard part pass. Life is in the little things you almost miss. Right now, breathe and remember, you got this. You got this.
let it stay. Just breathe, slow your heart for a moment. Let the noise drift away. Slow it down, look around, feel the room, feel the light on your skin. Right here, some days blur into others till you're lost where you've been. Oh, it feels like home when the world feels fast. Hold on, let the weight get lighter. Let the hard part pass, let it pass. Life is in the little things you almost miss. Right now, breathe and remember, you got this. You got this. You got this.
Hey, good morning, Brian. How are you, man? Hope you're having a wonderful day. Dang, Britt, I hope you're all right. I mean, it's been a while, but I get it like that every once in a while. But yeah, we're just hanging out, getting baked, listening to tunes. Let's go with this one.
Waiting for you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh. Never stayed in place. I never gave my heart away. You said I was playing games, but I couldn't see a way. I was
That's fucking great, Ma. Been watching a lot of hockey. The Wild lost again last night, so we need to start winning or else we're going to be out of the playoffs. But that's all right. We do have our morning speaker coming up. We are 15 minutes out from med time, so we got a little bit of time yet. Let's go with this one. Cheers, everybody.
I lit a spark into a flame. You seem to take my breath away. All these endless summer nights, sleeping under city lights. Are we living in real life? 'Cause I think I might be dreaming with you. I am finally where I belong. I belong with you. I just wanna stay here in your arms, in your arms. You fought all the monsters and demons in the dark. Help me fix the pieces inside my broken heart. With you. I learned to heal from all the pain. You show me how I can feel again. All these endless summer nights, sleeping under city lights. Are we living in real life? 'Cause I think I might be dreaming with you. I am finally where I belong. I belong with you. I just wanna stay here.
Y'all are a fucking hoot. Oh, man. Yeah, it's been a pretty chilling morning. It is cloudy here. Morgan is playing and being silly, like normal, I suppose. We do have our morning speaker coming up yet. Other than that, just kind of chilling and listening to some tunes. Wish they'd shift the camera a little bit, but we got a little bit of the sun, so it works. Oh. Oh, man. Let's go with... this one. Cheers, everybody.
I want you by my side so that I'll never feel alone again. They've always been so kind, but now they brought you away from me. I hope they didn't get your mind. Your heart is too strong anyway. We need to fetch back the time they are stolen from us. I want you, we can bring it on the floor. You never danced like this before. We don't talk about it, dancing on to the boogie all night long. Stoned in paradise, shouldn't talk about it. I want you, we can bring it on the floor. You never danced like this before. We don't talk about it, dancing on to the boogie all night long. Stoned in paradise, shouldn't talk about it, shouldn't talk about it. Coldest winter for me, no sun is shining anymore. The only thing I feel is pain caused by absence of you. Suspense control in my mind. I cannot find a way out of you. I want you by my side so that I never feel alone again. I want you, we can bring it on the floor. You never danced like this before. Shouldn't talk about it, dancing on to the boogie all night long. Stoned in paradise, shouldn't talk about it. Danced like this before, we don't talk about it. Stoned in paradise, shouldn't talk about it, shouldn't talk about it.
Hey, good morning, Kimmy. Hope you were having a wonderful Thursday morning. Yeah, I love the morning show. I may be a bit biased, but it is the best way to start the day, in my opinion. Oh, man, we are 6 minutes out from med time, but I know y'all, you're ready. You're like, let's go. Absolutely. You're damn right, Kay. All right, let's go with this one. Cheers, everybody.
Stone cold eyes, they take me away. Oh, so high that I can't escape. Can't escape. I don't wanna know how this will end. Everywhere I go, can't seem to get away. Do I hear you now? Calling, 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 calling my name. Do you feel me now? If ever I was sleeping, now I'm awake.
That's such a dope song. Yes, much love, Kimmy. Much love. Yeah, the morning show is crazy how, like, I mean, there's plenty of mornings I'll kind of be like, By the end of the show, I'm like, let's fucking go. 1 minute out from bedtime. We'll play another song and dive into our morning speaker. For real, Brit, the Can't Catch a Break Club. I feel like there's quite a bit of us in that one. Welcome to the club, Kimmy. We meet every morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Morning. Oh my God. Should we try that again without? All right, there we go. All right, I do have our morning speaker picked out. Let's go with this one. Cheers, everybody.
Flow, feel the rhythm rise. Clouds drift higher, painting the skies. The spark ignites, the vibe takes hold. Elevating minds, breaking the mold. Feel the frequencies, let them align. A wave of calm, divine design. Through every hit, through every sound. In the cove, we're heaven bound. We're feeling high frequencies, floating so free. Through the smoke and rhythm, it's pure energy. Let the baseline guide, let the moment ignite. Vibrations connect us, the vibe feels right. The beat connects us, a symphony of minds. Each spark a moment, the rhythm aligns. Cannabis clouds in the neon glow, dancing to waves only we know. Let the music guide, let it amplify. In the cove where spirits fly. Every pulse, every beat, every note. High frequencies keep us afloat. We're feeling high frequencies, floating so free. Through the smoke and rhythm, it's pure energy. Let the baseline guide, let the moment ignite. Vibrations connect us, the vibe feels right. We're feeling high frequencies. Feeling high frequencies. We're feeling high frequencies. We're feeling high frequencies. We're feeling high frequencies on the streets, all the struggle of minds. Each spark of moment, the rhythm aligns. Cannabis clouds in the neon glow, dancing to waves only we know. Let the music guide, let it amplify. In the cove where spirits fly. Every pulse, every beat, every note. High frequencies keep us afloat.
Yes, that's such a good song. Let's go, Kinley. Good morning, Heather. How are you? Hope you are having a dope Wednesday morning. Hope all is well. I'm looking for a new camera and finishing getting our morning speakers set up. Hey, there we go. Maybe. That'll work. Dope. Maybe. All right. Cheers, everybody. Let's go with this one.
To love you in real time, 100,000 miles away. How would there be so much space while we lying face to face? Don't need a sixth sense to feel the distance between us, X's and O's. Don't mean much. I know I just miss us. Feel like we're always catching up, and it's finally catching up. I wanna love you in real time. All of these days passing us by. Don't let me forget what it feels like to love you in real time. I wanna love you in real time. Wish we could go back and rewind. Don't let me forget what it feels like to love you in real time. Wish we could go back and rewind. Don't let me forget what it feels like to love you in real time. In real time.
Let's go, Kinley. Good job. Good job. All right, everybody. This morning's morning speaker is Jordan Peterson. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Wednesday morning. Here we go.
There are neuropsychological tests, and the neuropsychologists like to think that IQ is something that's primitive and that they've already what would you say, advanced past. And so they have specific prefrontal tests, say, that hypothetically assess specific prefrontal abilities. And then they'll note that if you take a single test of prefrontal ability and correlate it with IQ, it'll only correlate at about 0.3 or 0.4. And then they'll assume, because it only correlates that low, that it's measuring something other than what IQ is measuring. But really what happens is that it's just not a very good IQ test, and the reason that the correlation is so low is because of measurement error. So if you gave the same test to the same person 20 times, and then you varied the test so there were 30 variants of it, and you gave those all to the same person 20 times, then what would come out would be a score that would be much more highly correlated with IQ and probably indistinguishable from it. And so you'll learn from neuropsychologists that there's such a thing as prefrontal ability, and that's associated with executive control, and that's associated with self-regulation, which would be control over your impulses. And as far as I can tell, that's all completely wrong. And it took me like 10 years to figure that out, because I was taught that it was right, and it wasn't until I plowed through it painfully and understood that there was no evidence for that. So I can tell you how that works. So for example, we gave a neuropsych battery that consisted of dorsolateral prefrontal tests to 3,000 people. It was a 90-minute battery, so it was exhaustive. And when we factor analyzed it, when there was only about 200 participants, we got 4 factors. But then when we factor analyzed it after we had 3,000 participants, we got 2 factors. And one was one on which almost all the tests loaded, and it was undoubtedly fluid intelligence. So, but it's worse than that, you know, because you hear about how the prefrontal cortex regulates behavior. Well, here's a problem with that. What's the correlation between IQ and conscientiousness? 0, roughly speaking. It's probably a little off 0, although it might not be. And you know that because the dimensions of the big 5 are roughly orthogonal. I showed you at the beginning of this that each trait of the big 5 traits is correlated with the other trait on an average of about 0.2. Now, why that is, it's probably because of something like, what would you call? It's probably a halo effect. If you tend to rate yourself as positive on one trait, more conscientious, more agreeable, more emotionally stable, you're going to tend to rate yourself as more positive on the other traits. So that would artificially inflate their correlation. That's one way of looking at it. Anyways, weirdly enough, the correlation between conscientiousness and IQ is essentially 0. Now that's a big problem, isn't it? Because it's unconscientious people that seem to be behaviorally dysregulated, right? They can't stick to a task. They jump about. They're not on track. They appear impulsive, although we don't know how to define impulsive, by the way, but your Hill psychologists use that all the time. It's like, well, if prefrontal ability regulates behavior, how come the correlation between intelligence and other forms of executive control are correlated with conscientiousness at 0, right? 0 is a very bad number when you're testing out a hypothesis. So, and you know, if you think about it, it has to be that way. And the reason it has to be that way is this. Like, so if you're dreaming, you're going to just lay there and dream, eh? But your eyes are going to move back and forth. Now, you might say, why aren't you running around acting out your dreams while you're dreaming? And the answer to that is there's a little switch in your head, roughly speaking, that shuts off your motor apparatus when you're dreaming. And so what happens is you can't run around and act out all your dreams because you're paralyzed. And sometimes people wake up in that state. It's called sleep paralysis. They wake up, they're sort of half awake, and they can't move. And then they often hallucinate all sorts of weird things and think aliens have come and abducted them and various peculiarities. But if you take a cat and you take out that little switch, then the cat will run around while it's dreaming until it runs into something, which is the problem with running around acting out your dreams. So, what does that allow one to conclude? Well, if you couldn't abstract away from your behavior, you couldn't think, right? Because what thinking means is to represent an alternative world, or maybe just a tiny little fraction of the world, whatever, to represent it abstractly, to manipulate it around, but not to simultaneously act it out. Then it wouldn't be abstracting at all. It would be fiddling about with the world through trial and error. So you have to be able to pull what you think about out of your body, so to speak, play with it, and then implement it back in. Now, it looks maybe like the ability to implement a plan is associated with conscientiousness, but we don't understand that. That would be industriousness. And we don't know a bloody thing about industriousness. Like, it's just a black hole. But the idea that it's your ability to think that allows you to regulate your behavior strikes, well, there's no evidence for it. There's no evidence for it. Smart people are not necessarily better at regulating their behavior. So, because you can have a very unconscientious smart person, and I see them in my clinical practice now and then, they come and say, well, I'm really smart, and here's the evidence, but I'm doing very badly in everything. They're underachievers, roughly speaking. You know, so they can't implement their thoughts, not in any stable manner. So the fact that they're smart, you know, on average across their life, smart people are healthier mentally and physically than people who aren't as smart. But the reason for that isn't because their intelligence allows them to regulate their health. The reason for that is because their intelligence allows them, roughly speaking, to succeed, so they're higher up in the dominance hierarchy. And if you're higher up in the dominance hierarchy, then your life isn't as stressful and you don't get sick as often. But that doesn't indicate that there's a direct control between your intelligence and your behavioral output. There's very little evidence for that. Well, I think there's no evidence for it. So that's rather shocking. So, you know, to me, that just wiped out a whole substrata of psychological theorizing. And it's, I'm sure, how many of you have come up against the proposition that prefrontal ability was associated with behavioral control? Yeah. Well, it isn't. So, you know, not any more than first of all, it's not differentiable from IQ, regardless of what the neuropsychologists say, because they don't know anything about psychometrics generally, and they don't like IQ, because if they studied IQ, then what they'd find is all the things that they're studying are basically variants of IQ, and that would suck, because other people have already figured out IQ. And then there's the big problem, which is, well, variation in prefrontal ability, which is equivalent to variation in IQ, isn't correlated with behavioral control. It's a really big problem. So I would like to say, well, what is correlated with behavioral control? But the problem with that is, well, I don't know what you mean by behavioral control. I don't know how you're going to measure it. And if you do measure it, the probability that you're going to come up with something like conscientiousness is pretty much 100%. So when you're walking down Bloor Street and you make a detour around the person who happens to be talking to themselves, where are they? Because wherever they are, that's not the same place you are. If it was the same place, you wouldn't have any trouble walking right by them. Wherever they are, that's somewhere seriously different. Now, it turns out that we also have the capacity to represent that. And I would say an easy way to think about that is that there are two domains that are characteristic to experience. And one domain is the domain of the known. And the domain of the known is where, when you act in a certain way, what you want to happen happens. Got it? And the reason that's the known is because if you act in a certain way and you get what you want, that means that you know what you're doing. It's actually the definition of knowing what you're doing. And that's a different definition than I know a fact about the objective world. You know, so if you tell someone a joke, or you tell a group of people a joke, and, you know, they laugh and maybe they want another joke, it's like, good for you. You know what you're doing. But if you tell them a joke and they sort of, you know, look uneasy and glance at each other, well, you know, it's time to rethink your sense of humor. And what you've just learned is that there's some mismatch between the manner in which you configure social reality and the social reality itself. Now, imagine what happens if you do tell a joke, or maybe a couple of jokes, and they flop badly. How do you feel when that happens? If you have any sense, how do you feel? Embarrassed, yes. So maybe you turn red, for example. What else? What might happen if you feel embarrassed? What would you do?
Yeah, tell as many jokes.
Well, hopefully, right. It's like, you know, that's right. You'd reevaluate your knowledge, and you might think, well, what the hell's wrong with me? Or you might think, what the hell's wrong with them? Which I would say is not a good starting point. Yeah, but seriously though, you know, because you got to watch that. Because if it's 10 people and you, maybe you're right. Maybe you are funny. But if all 10 of them think you're not, well, either you're not funny or you're telling your jokes to the wrong people, right? And sometimes it is the case that it's everyone else that's got the problem, but that's definitely not the first hypothesis that you might want to generate. Okay, so there's a place that exists that manifests itself when things that you don't want or expect happen. And I would consider that unknown. And the unknown is a complicated place because it's a place where unexpected things happen. And that's also symbolically represented. And that's generally symbolically represented by feminine figures. Now, the reasons for that is extraordinarily complicated, and it's going to take a very long time to explain it. Partly it's because the masculine as a symbolic realm is already used up. That's the dominance hierarchy. And because we're basically social cognitive organisms, we're going to use representations that are basically human in order to start representing things that aren't precisely human, because we have to start somewhere. We have to start with our basic primate cognitive system. And it's not like chimpanzees have culture. You know, they have dominance hierarchies and troops. We have dominance hierarchies and troops and culture. And we have to represent that some way. And the way we represent it is by using the same systems that we were representing the simple structures with, but generalizing with them to encompass broader phenomena. So things that are permanent across time, things you know, or the fact that there are things that you know, things that you don't know, or the fact that there are things that you don't know. That's permanent. And then there's one other thing across time that's permanent. You, the fact that there's an I in the equation, right? So you think, well, what are people's experiential fields fundamentally composed of? Places you're secure in and that you understand. So that's your territory. And your territory is a very complex thing. It might even be an ideological territory. Your territory, things that you don't understand, that's not your territory. That's unexplored territory. And you don't know what the hell's going on there. And that's the unknown. And then the last common element is you. And so basic symbolic structures tend to represent those elements of reality. The known, the unknown, and the thing that mediates between them. And the thing that mediates between them is you, or more precisely, the thing that mediates between them is your individual consciousness. And that's like mediating between chaos and order. If you look up at the screen there, look at the Christian image on the left. That's called the Open Virgin. And there are quite a few statues of this sort that were created in medieval Europe in the 13th, 14th century. And I want to sort of tell you what that sculpture means, using the analytic schema that I just laid out for you, so that you can get a sense of how this symbolic representation works. Now, and this is a strange representation from a Christian perspective because, well, the representation is the Virgin Mary, right? That's the superordinate figure, the female. And inside that is God the Father. And inside that is Christ, all right? Now, the reason it's a strange Christian representation is that it's rare to see Mary represented as a figure that's superordinate to God. And, well, we'll just leave that aside for now. I think part of the reason that happened for these sculptures is because they were trying to express the relationship between these three fundamental elements in a way that was slightly different than the canonical Christian representation. But here's how to read it. Well, the outside, that.
Hey, good morning, Boxman. How are you, brother? Hope you're having a wonderful morning. We're just hanging out listening to our morning speaker, Jordan Peterson, this morning. I always enjoy the Jordan Petersons. Hope everybody's having a dope start to their Wednesday. Here we go. Hey, much love, Ash. We'll catch you later tomorrow.
That's the unknown. That's the mother of all things. Now, you might say, well, why is the unknown the mother of all things? Well, where does new information come from? New information comes from what you don't know. You already know what you know. Everything new comes from what you don't know. And so what you don't know is terrifying, certainly, because God only knows what's going to happen when you encounter it. But it's also unbelievably potentially productive. In fact, you might think of it as potential. The unknown is potential itself.
Hey, good morning, Alec. How are you, man? I hope you are having a wonderful morning. Just hanging out listening to our morning speaker this morning. It is Jordan Peterson. Here we go.
And so you need to know how to deal with potential, because potential manifests itself in all sorts of places that you wouldn't necessarily, that technically you wouldn't expect. It's almost by definition. So for Heidegger, reality was what you experienced. So he sort of tipped the tables. Instead of presuming an objective world and then deriving the subjective from it, he presumed that the entirety of your experiences were real. And that included your emotions and your felt motivational states, and your dreams and your fantasies, and even your delusions. Now, that doesn't mean that people like Heidegger thought that all the elements of lived reality belonged in the same category. So if you thought that dreams and the reality that you share with other people were indistinguishable from one another, you'd be just as pathological to a phenomenologist as to anyone else. But they were trying to get back to the central mystery of life, which is that there is something rather than nothing, I suppose, and that we experience it. And that's the place where Rogers starts. One of the presumptions of the Rogerians is that in order to help someone, you have to put yourself in their shoes, fundamentally. So you have to try to see the world from their perspective. And that means adopting the viewpoint. It means adopting the reality that manifests itself to them, so that you can develop an empathic understanding and a body-focused understanding of the person that you're talking to. Rogers believed that it was the moral responsibility of the therapist to do that personally, and then that to the degree that that was being done in the therapy relationship, in the therapeutic relationship, that in and of itself would be healing. And so basically, Rogers' theory is that honest communication heals. Now, you know, that's quite an interesting theory. You know, it's not completely unallied from Freud's earlier claims, right? Because Freud basically presumed that it was Freud didn't put so much of a moral element on it. He really viewed the person more as being trapped between titanic opposing forces, you know, the id underneath and the superego on top, and poor little ego sort of crunched up in the middle. And as a consequence of being pulled and prodded and crushed by those titanic forces, pathology was likely to emerge. And he talked about repression, but Freud tended to view repression as an unconscious process. For Rogers, the moral element of the therapeutic process is much clearer, I believe. And most of the time when you listen to Rogers or you read what he had to say, the injunctions that he's laying out are moral injunctions. Now, it's quite interesting, because you don't necessarily think of psychotherapy as a moral endeavor. And I really never thought about it that way fully until I read Jung. I was reading Rogers at the same time. But Jung laid out the proposition in his book that most of the problems, many of the problems that people came to see a therapist about were actually moral problems, and they were moral problems of various sorts. Now, sometimes the person was in trouble because they had done something seriously wrong. He had one client, if I remember correctly, and he discovered, if I remember correctly, that she had killed her children. And she did that when they were young. She let them become exposed to tuberculosis, I think it was. She didn't take the proper precautions. And the reason she did that was because she wanted to marry someone, and he wasn't very interested in her children. So you might consider that a moral problem. And apparently it was weighing on her conscience, you know, as it might well. Now, it's a strange thing, because in some sense what she did was turn a blind eye to something she could have prevented. In legal terms, that's known as willful blindness. But she knew, whatever that means. Well, there's lots of different levels of knowing, right? You can know something in your body, you can know something in your imagination, you can know something in articulated form, you know, so the whole issue of knowing is very complicated. But Rogers definitely believed, as far as I can tell, that there was a moral dimension to life, that it was identifiable, that in some sense it was linear, that it had an observable process, which was the continual integration of experience within the phenomenal field, the ironing out of contradictions within the phenomenal field. So you might think, well, what happens when you feel one way and you say something else? I mean, you're all perfectly familiar with that experience. In fact, my experience with people has been that, and this is another issue of instrumental use of language. You know, you say, well, what are you using your language for? Well, to get what you want. Well, that can be consciously manipulative, and maybe we'll say, well, that's what the psychopath is like, except the psychopath is not only consciously manipulative, he's also unconsciously manipulative, because he's been practicing it for like 3 decades. So all the little machines in his head are deceptive too, and they run on automatic. So he'll just lie just to see if he can pull one over on you, because that demonstrates that not only is he smarter than you, but that you deserve to be victimized because you're such an idiot. So, but people use instrumental language like that not only consciously to get what they want, but, you know, it's something that we definitely think of as characteristic, for example, of teenagers, right? I mean, there isn't a teen movie that's been made in the last 50 years, I don't think, that doesn't deal with the negative consequences of using instrumental language, right? Basically, the teen is put in some position where they're being pulled by maybe various social forces, different friendship groups, or there's a contradictory relationship between what their friends want and their parents want, or what their friends want and their school wants, or what they want and their friends want, or what the school wants. So all of these things are pulling and pushing in different directions. And the directions are essentially, in some sense, the directions are moral, because they're all about what to do. And the plot of the movie is how the teenager, it's usually a Rogerian plot, it's usually about how the teenager comes to fuller self-realization, right? And that they're able to stave off the temptations that are posed sometimes by the authorities, so they don't become too obedient, and sometimes by their peers, so that they don't become only a reflection of peer pressure. Question?
I was just going to say, would peer pressure be a good example of something that could cause the use of instruments?
Absolutely. Peer pressure is absolutely that. And so if you're using language to fit in, well, that's also instrumental use of language, and for Rogers, that would be one of the sources of pathology. Now, it's very much worth taking this seriously. So here's an example that I've thought about a lot. What do you do if you're at work and someone tells you to do something that you don't want to do? And I don't mean that, assume you're disciplined, you know, assume that you're not just lazy and worthless and that's why you don't want to do it. And you want to ask yourself that first, right? Because maybe you're just being lazy and worthless and you should pull yourself together and do the thing, you know. So, but failing that, let's say that you're being asked to do something that you're having a very difficult time to get motivated to do. So that'd be one clue. And that it's also making you uneasy. So you're waking up in the middle of the night and you're being anxious and it's running through your mind. And what should you do? Well, it's your job. Someone who's in the hierarchy above you is telling you to do it. Maybe you should just do it. Well, then you might ask yourself, well, why can't you just go ahead and do it? You know, you might say, well, maybe it's quasi-criminal and you're afraid of getting caught, but let's forget about that for a minute. Let's assume that the probability, maybe it's a low-level moral transgression. It's not precisely illegal, and even so, the probability that you're going to get caught is very low. Why would it bother you? And should you take that seriously? Now, Rogers would claim that the reason it would bother you is because it would make the structure of your self system inconsistent. The word phenomenon is from a Greek word, and the Greek word is phanesthai. And what phanesthai means is to shine forth. Now, one of the presuppositions of the phenomenological viewpoint is that reality in some sense is composed of what shines forth. Now, this is a very difficult thing to explain, but I can do it partly this way. So when you're moving from point A to point B, you can parse the world up into tools and obstacles. I showed you that in the last slide. Tools are things that get you to where you're going, and so what the tools are depends on where you're going, and obstacles are the things that get in your way. And so if you perceive tools, then that makes you happy, because happiness, at least in part, is experienced in relationship to movement towards a goal. And if you experience nothing but obstacles, that's going to produce negative emotion. And so this is a variant of that. And the variant is, when you're moving from point A to point B, you can experience things that you predict or desire, and those make you hopeful and happy. Or you can experience things that are unpredictable, and those are threats, and they make you anxious. But it's broader than that. They disinhibit negative emotion in a more general sense. But sometimes you can experience something that's so unpredicted and so shocking that it blows the framework that you're using. What would you say? The phenomenologists called that loss of world. The framework, the thing that you encounter is so unexpected that its appearance blows the structure of being apart. And that happens, for example, when people are betrayed by someone that they love, or maybe they're very seriously hurt, or they develop a very serious illness, or a dream that they've been pursuing for a long period of time is rendered impossible by some failure, or some unexpected natural occurrence. Now, part of the question is, what do you experience when your world falls apart? Your world emerges from something, and then when it falls apart, it falls back into that something, that chaotic state. And the phenomenologists say that what you experience most basically is meaning. So from a phenomenological perspective, when you're looking at the world, you perceive meaning, and then you derive objects from that. And you derive the objects in relationship to your representation of your current state and your future state. So from a phenomenological perspective, the base of the world is meaning. Now, I can give you some hints about how that plays itself out. So one interesting phenomena is how interest guides your ability to concentrate. Okay, so let's say that you've got an array of difficult papers on your desk, and you have to read them. Now, some of those papers, independently of their difficulty, some of those papers will presume that you're actually interested in, and some of them you're not interested in. And so the papers that you're interested in come with this quality that the phenomenologists described as shining forth. There's something about them that grips your attention, that enables you to concentrate, that enables you to learn, and that enables you to remember, and in a relatively effortless way. Whereas the other papers that you're not interested in, assuming they're of equivalent difficulty, it's very difficult to focus your attention on, and they lie there in sort of an inert manner. So the phanesthai phenomena is partially apprehendable by considering what the difference is to you between something that you're interested in and something that you're not. Now, someone like Jung would think of that interest as a consequence of an internal process, a psychological process that's guiding your attention. But the phenomenologists, at least it's tricky because they go both ways on this, would consider the fact that some things are illuminated so that they're easy to concentrate on is actually a function of being itself. It isn't something that you apply to the world. It's a characteristic of being. some things shine forth as meaningful and some things don't. Now, the existentialists would say, at least in part, that you have a duty to follow the things that shine forth. That's where the moral element of this comes in.
I love the Jordan Petersons. He's so great. His lectures are ridiculously amazing. All right, I hope everybody's having a wonderful morning. Let's go with this one. Cheers, everybody.
It never fades away. You're staying. Your kiss like broken glass on my skin. And all the greatest love and then violence is tearing up my voice, left in silence. Baby, it hits so hard. I'm holding on to my chest. Maybe you left your mark, reminding me to forget. It doesn't matter where you are, you can keep my regret. Baby, I got these scars, reminding me to forget. Reminding me I got these. There's no room in war for feelings. Hurt me to the core, still healing. And I know you're no good for me, so I try to forget the memories. 'Cause baby, it hits so hard. I'm holding on to my chest. Maybe you left your mark, reminding me to forget. It doesn't matter where you are, you can keep my regret. Baby, I got these scars, reminding me to forget. Baby, it hits so hard. I'm holding on to my chest. Baby, you left your mark, reminding me to forget. It doesn't matter where you are, you can keep my regret. Baby, I got these scars, reminding me to forget. Reminding me I got these scars. Get your love, reminding me get your love.
Let's fucking go. I hope everybody's had a dope start to their Wednesday. Probably smoke one more and call it a morning show. But I hope you all are off to an amazing Wednesday. Not sure. I think there's anything too crazy going on the rest of the day, but don't miss out if there is. And I will see everybody tomorrow morning. Cove-TV morning show, 8 a.m. Eastern time every single day of the week. Come and hang out and get baked and listen to some good tunes. Make sure you're following Vicki B on all the platforms that she streams to. Check out her merch store. Get you a favorite cuppa. Buy her a favorite cup of coffee. Yeah, that works. Whatever. Make sure you're following everybody on the Cove team. Thank you to everybody who subscribes and shares and follows and watches and interacts. And yeah. Great morning speaker, great Vicki B, and cheers. Everybody have a wonderful rest of your day.
Who knows where I'll be when I get old? But every road that leads back home, it's easy to say, it's so hard to show. But give me your hands, give me something to hold. You could get burned even when it's cold. Not everything is in your control. Just because it's a house doesn't mean it's a home. It's only right if you feel alone. Feel alone. Just because it glitters don't mean that it's gold. It's gold. There's someone out there who already knows. Already knows. It's not about the fancy cars or clothes. So just because it glitters don't mean that it's gold. It's gold. There's someone out there who already knows. Already knows. It's not about the fancy cars or clothes. Who knows I'll be when I get old? But every road that leads back home, it's easy to say, it's so hard to show. But give me your hands, give me something to hold. You could get burned even when it's cold. Not everything is in your control. Just because it's a house doesn't mean it's a home. It's only right if you feel alone. Just because it glitters don't mean that it's gold. It's gold. There's someone out there who already knows. It's not about the fancy cars or clothes.
Much love, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day.